and the board harness, the the harness adapter for my setup is complete. I made it really long. And I'm going to power the AVG board off of the AR, the 5 volts anyway. And then the CPU board I'm going to do off of a switcher for 5 volts. And then all of the other miscellaneous voltages, the neg 5, 12, 22s, negative and positive, that's all off the AR. So I don't have any coin stuff wired in or any kind of controls right now. I will do that at a different time. But as for now, I just want to get it to where I can power it up. I can put it on the monitor. I can hear it. I've got the audio wired in. So yeah, over here I've got my inner board connectors. So I've got my inner boards and I've got my adapter harness. So without further ado, let's get this thing hooked up. All right, the moment I've been waiting for. I actually have it turned on. I'm going to turn it off. Yeah, I sneaked a peek. Anyway, let's take a look. I got parts AVG, analog vector board, and CPU. I do not have the soundboard hooked up. And this is in. Everything's good to go. And I already see that these LEDs right here go out if it's working, I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the manual. But let's turn it on and check out these LEDs. See, they're on. And they went off. And here's what I get on the screen. This is test mode. Let's take it out of test mode. And it's doing that. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if it's working or what. I don't think so. I think it's resetting. Let's go back to test. Back to test mode, and I want to hit reset if I can find reset. Does this have a reset button? I don't think it does. Alright, I'm going to cycle the power. And I don't know if that's supposed to be flashing or what. You know what? I'm going to hook up and let's test power. Be right back. Okay, so I'm testing the AVG board and it's at 497. That's great. And if I come over here and look at this board, this is off of the switching power supply. It's also looking 497. So that's good. Yeah. Power's good. So, I don't know. Let's, I guess let's go ahead and hook this thing up to the vector monitor and see what happens. Alright guys, actually I have gone through all of the voltages. All of the voltages are great. This has the kind of sockets that I don't like on it. So I think before doing anything I should reset all of the sockets. This is a 6809 system. This is not a 6502, which kind of sucks, because that means I don't have a 6809 pod for my Fluke. So I can't test decoding circuitry with my Fluke. And this thing is just resetting. I'm not even going to hook this up to my vector monitor right now. There's no point. It's resetting, you can see. So, and that could be because there's bad connections on these sockets, or you know, I want to reseat these, reseat them, make sure they're clean, make sure the sockets aren't corroded, then go from there. Okay, guys, so I reset all of these guys, and I looked at them. I used this little magnifying glass there and really looked at these pins, and they all look like crap. They're all they're oxidized, and they're not corroded, but they're very oxidized, and some of them are pushed in. There's none broke, but these sockets suck. I'm going to have to... I think what I want to do is I want to dump the ROMs, and I think I want to dump the ROMs and go through and make sure the ROMs are all good. The ROM legs themselves, the ROMs look super. They look new. And I'm kind of thinking this is bad socket problem. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it starts working and then it starts resetting. I don't know. Who knows right now? So right now I want to look at the ROMs, and I want to know that there's good connections here. I mean, these sockets are terrible. They're just no good, you know. So they were not meant to last. That's for sure. So first thing I'm going to do is dump the ROMs, check the ROM files, make sure they're good. Then we will. I'll probably have to replace sockets. So we'll see. Alrighty, I'll be back. First things first, I'm going to check the ROM files. Okay, so I dumped all of the ROMs, including the PROM chips up here, and they all tested good except for this guy. And strangely enough, in ROM ident, this comes up under main CPU. So this is not a, I don't believe, I mean, if I'm believing ROM ident, this is a CPU ROM and not a ROM for this board used by the hardware. So if that's the case, I mean, it's still, we're getting our nonsense up here. Yeah, so if that's the case, then I'm going to burn a new guy right here and see what happens. Alright guys, well, I got the new 2732 programmed. Notice this is no longer flashing. And, better yet, it looks like Star Wars is a-working. So I am going to switch this over, put it on the vector monitor, and check out some Star Wars. You can see the credits rolling, or that scrolling, whatever, right now. Yeah, it had a bad ROM on it. Huh. Alright, I'm going to turn it off. We'll put it over on the vector monitor, and let's just do that before we hook the soundboard up. Alright, we are over on the vector monitor, guys. And keep in mind, this vector monitor is not converged, and it does not have the proper degaussing can thing. I forget what they're called. Thermistor, maybe. It doesn't have the right one in it, so it doesn't degauss right, basically. But how freaking awesome is that? The one thing about this that I'm not sure about is, see how it says 1 credit, pull trigger to start? I don't think it should be doing that, because I looked up the dip switch settings, and the dip switch settings are set according to this, according to the manual. It is set to 1 credit, 1 coin. So it shouldn't be coming up with a credit in it. So I'm going to have to investigate that. And is this shorted? What's the deal with that? So is that a bad dip switch? I don't know. So I will look into that. I want to look into that before I hook the soundboard up. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that. Okay, I did go ahead and remove this guy because this one, number 3, and it's in the coin multiplier. Number 3 is stuck open. Or yeah, it's stuck open. It won't turn on. And it's supposed to be on. I'm going to go ahead and remove both of them. I'm going to replace both of them. If one's bad, then, you know, there's a good chance both of them are bad. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy. I'll replace both of them. Okay, I discovered I did replace both of these guys. One of them was definitely bad. This one was definitely not good, because number 3 was stuck open. It would not close or turn on, if you will. But I did find that the coinage is set, basically, you can set it in software, I think. You go into the test menu, because I changed it to 2 coins, 1 play in the setup menu, in the test screen menu. So yeah, this thing's working fine. It's working perfect. But it's a good thing. It's good to replace those dip switches, because that one was definitely not working. It was no good. So I guess we'll go ahead, hook up the put the soundboard up to it and see what we get. Hopefully we'll hear Obi-Wan when we first fire it up say, "The Force will be with you always." So we'll check it out together. Okay, so I took this guy out. This, I believe, is the speech chip. I'm not sure. I think so. And I cleaned the legs on it. It was just tarnished. So I cleaned that up, put it back together, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod and let's check this thing out.
Red 5 standing by.
I'm going to reset it really quick. I'm going to put coins. I want to hear Obi-Wan.
The Force will be with you.
Yeah.
Red 5 standing by.
I have no controls for this. I don't have any controls hooked up. But I do want to do that in the future, but right now I don't.
Increase the power.
Remember, the force will be with you, always.
Guys, that right there is about as cool as it gets. Seriously. What a cool game. Yeah. It's all working. All good to go. So as all of the board repairs I do, I'll let this thing run for at least 3 hours, 4 hours. Pretty sweet. I don't have any pins or 7-position housings to make one of these. I'm gonna buy some of that stuff, the pins and housings, so that I can actually set this over here, set it off to the side. I couldn't set it off to the side because I don't have one of these, and I can't make one. So that's what I should say. I can't make one long enough to set that over there. So yeah, but awesome, awesome, awesome. There's a lot of work making that interconnect, but it was well worth it. It's all done. And the harness, and the adapter harness. So now I am in the Star Wars board repair business. Happy to be. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not. It really does help. Consider subscribing, please. And we will see you on the next repair video. And I do have another Star Wars in the queue. I do. So, cool. We'll see you later, guys.